evening and welcome to this edition of 27 Minutes here on WJTS UPN 27. Things are looking up in the city of Huntingburg these days. Mayor Gail Kemp held his annual State of the City address earlier this week during a Kiwanis meeting at the Dutchman Inn.
So what are we planning for and what are we expecting? Not necessarily in priority, but I think the first thing we have to be recognized and be cognizant of is we owe a tremendous debt to our youth. In about 8 months or so, Bob Gilst will kick off a new elementary school. And I probably shouldn't get into this, but if we've haven't gotten over the petition drive, let's get over the petition drive now and get on with it, because the kids need the school and we need the kids. To show you what can occur when we work together, you'll stop and think that we have the City of Huntingburg, the Huntingburg Foundation, the school system, all working together to provide a new youth center for the kids of our town. We have made a tremendous accomplishment here. They will come up as we bring them up. Something like that, isn't it, Ray, in the Bible? And we owe it to work with our children. We left the meeting about 10 minutes ago, or 15, with Hannah Wagle & Klein, the firm who has been hired to do our engineering study for our wastewater collection system around the town. That's moving along. I want you to stop and think for just a moment what's going to happen when that project is completed. First of all, the problem with sanitation that we've had some concern about will be eradicated for those homes that will be served by this system. Just as importantly, but it's not the main reason, just as importantly, we're going to open up and make available for residential use thousands of acres that haven't been available before. If you stop for just one moment, when that becomes available, that thing that goes back to the Field of Dream, their slogan, if you build it, they will come. And this will be the first time that Huntingburg has had that opportunity for growth in many years. In addition to that, in the last couple of months, we have some announced expansion on the north side of town, and they're here to provide the sewer plant or the sewer treatment facility to get out to that. That's fast tracked. And August the 1st, we'll see a new industry at the north side of Huntingburg. The next thing, downtown Huntingburg, with virtually no vacant buildings. You're about to see a transformation there, which will make that really single out and stand out when we start the new sidewalk project. Our downtown merchants need to be congratulated for what they have done, but we'll be working with them, and through the $200,000 grant that we received, downtown Huntingburg will be ready to step into the new millennium. It's going to look good. Once again, its growth is already starting to go down Jackson Street, Main Street, and even onto Geiger. And I see as this becomes a key part of downtown's development, we'll see further development down there. Our utility departments finished the year all in good financial shape and in the black. But we have some infrastructure needs which we must address, and one of the most critical right now is going to be the electrical upgrade. That will start in all likelihood this year, and we will begin to bring Huntingburg with a new electrical system which will provide some redundancy so we don't have as many power outages, or in case of something really catastrophic, we've got a backup system to take place. And Dave's got that about ready to go. Hopefully we'll be starting that this year, if not the first of next year. But again, we're at capacity in our electrical distribution system. This is necessary for any further growth, and again, to make the system totally reliable. Something that's not thought of, controversial, is city planning and reorganization of our zoning codes. First done in the early 60s. They tend to be outdated now, but if we're going to have future growth, if we're going to have controlled growth which will enhance property values, even though it's controversial, this is a necessary step. Property values have really skyrocketed in Huntingburg. In a recent meeting with an appraiser, just for your information, there have been 3 less than 1 acre or approximately 1 acre lots on the north side of Huntingburg. Each has sold for in excess of $100,000. It's here. Property values have been enhanced. residential lots are going up because they're suddenly recognizing this is a place to be. Our housing last year was 41 starts, I believe. But the point I want to make is in 2 years, the housing starts were more than we've had probably in the last 2 years combined. And as we speak, work is going on another housing project for 65 new homes, and that's not enough. We're having developers come in now and say, where can we go? We want to build homes. So again, I say we need people to go out and develop some property because growth has started and we want to keep it going. If you have patience, it will finally happen. And that's Chestnut Street. We've been talking about that for a decade, as Mucky Lett would tell you, for 25 years. If there's any luck at all, we will turn dirt this year and Chestnut Street will begin to be a road instead of a trail. And Lee is to be congratulated for some of the repairs he's made, but we're looking forward to the Grace Lutheran area to making that into a street again. And there's some residents there that really need that kind of work. And last, I want to quickly go over something kind of fun. It's called the Dragons. They've had their ups, they've had their downs, but who would have thought we would have been able to suddenly find $260,000 available to carry us into the Frontier League. But we've done that without any city money, through volunteers, through people who've been able to donate, and we've made them a solid future in this community. All we need now is to get behind them and support them. So to make it. To sum this up quickly, someone once told me that if you expect something to happen, it will. And conversely, if you don't expect it to happen, you probably won't. I expect great things for Huntingburg. I think next year, when we start the year 2000, we're going to see the capability for growth, for opportunity, for employment, for better schools, for a great place for our youth. All this will be in place. We'll continue to work to make that happen. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to have been mayor for these last 3 years, 2 months. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
We will have more at 27 minutes right after this. Yep. Last week, Tony Frigg supplied us with a view of the Birdseye Fire Department's new fire and rescue truck. She also spoke to the town council president about the progress of Birdseye's projects and goals.
Town Council President Emmett Wiseman is finally seeing 2 major town projects come under construction for Birdseye. The first is an ISTEA, Intermodular Surface Transportation and Efficiency Act grant under the wings of Midwestern Engineers. Falkerson of Lanesville, Indiana got construction underway for the sidewalk and modest drainage improvements.
As you've seen, their sidewalks. They're just about 80% complete right now. I think probably they went just about as far as they can go till warm weather and they put the blacktop in. We had a $169,000 grant, matching grant for that. We also got a $500,000 matching grant for our rehabilitation of our sewer system. We had awarded a contract on that to Mitchell and Stark. They are due to start in about 2 weeks, and it's, I believe, is 210 working days. So hopefully by the end of August, the street should be fixed, the sewer should be fixed, and the sidewalk should be in place.
The wastewater collection system improvement project is being managed by Commonwealth Engineers. That bid was about $457,000.
It's a total rehabilitation. New manholes, hopefully. Repair leaks, inflow and infiltration, new lift stations. It's a pretty drastic project, but it's our system's antiquated, and this is supposed to put her back in shape.
Much of the town's new shape has been through the efforts of its people.
A lot of it, most of the labor has been donated. The town hall, we built this thing just at the cost of material. The town park, we've been real fortunate. We've had people here in town that really are interested in seeing things done, that really participate. The fire department's great. We've got a great fire department that pitches in, and anytime there's something to do, there's a bunch of those guys there, and we have been real fortunate. But then when we got to the sidewalks and the sewers, then we had to go for grant money. We had to have some help on that. We were using our edit money as part of our match to pick up our end of it, and hopefully we get the sewer done. Our major work is done for a while, I hope.
However, on the minor 1999 work list is another building project.
We do have hopes this summer of building a pretty good size building at the park for storage for the fire department, for the water and the sewer department, and the town. It would be and also like a concession stand to keep park equipment in long. So that's in the plans if we can come up with the cash to do it.
What's next?
Election. I think at the end of the year we'll have election.
Emmett Wiseman is not certain yet if he's running, but the town clerk treasurer, Donna King, who he praises for keeping current projects on track, has her notary seal ready for him. Tony Frick, TV 27 News.
Keep it right here. We'll have more after this.
Hello, this is John Short. I work on the staff of the Indiana House, and we're here in the House Ways and Means meeting room for the latest in our series of updates on the 1999 session of the Indiana General Assembly. Joining us once again is State Representative Dave Crooks from the 63rd House District from Washington. David, how are you?
Doing great, John.
Good. We've had a couple of session days this week that have run fairly long, but the legislature's out of work this week, and we're coming close on a couple of deadlines that are of importance for the 99 session. The first one that's coming up will be on March 4th, which is the second reading deadline in the House. And Dave, give us an idea of what the importance is of second reading in the procedure.
Well, the second reading deadline basically is the last opportunity for legislators to offer any type of amendments on the bills that are due up for third readings. So in other words, we'll probably get hit with several dozen bills all near the early part of March. This is when you'll see a majority of the bills really move through the process. And if there's anything that might be of interest to people in my district to where I might want to make changes to a particular bill, that would be the time to do it.
Yeah, this is for you, a lot of these bills, this is the first chance you'll have to get a real good look at them, right?
It really will be, because even though we've had some committee meetings so far this session, it seems like a lot of the activity happens near the very end of this process. So that's when we'll have long days, be here till as late as 10 o'clock and midnight each night, working up to that deadline.
Okay. Next deadline after that is March 8th, which is the third reading deadline. And if you can't get a bill out by then, you're pretty much out of luck.
Well, that's right, John, because third reading deadline means it's the last opportunity to vote for House bills that actually originated here. Out of the 1,111 bills that have been filed, we'll be lucky to see about 15 or 20% of those bills make it to that deadline. And then if they do make it to that third reading deadline on March 8th, then the bills will move from the House to the Senate, and then we'll receive the bills that have moved out of the Senate to the House and go through the process over again.
Okay. Like I said before, we're here in the Ways and Means room because this is where the single most important bill of the 99 session gets started. That's the passage of the state biennial budget. Dave, tell us where we're at on the budget process. We're still, you haven't had a crack at the budget bill yet, but it's coming.
Well, you're right. And House Bill 1001 is the number they already reserve for the budget bill. Basically, members of the House Ways and Means Committee have been meeting almost every day that we've been in session at the General Assembly so far. The first 2 to 3 weeks they spent listening to the different state agencies talking about their funding request. And then if there was any bill that had a price tag to it, It was also assigned to Ways and Means. I think that was close to 370 some bills that got sent to Ways and Means. Even a bill that might originate, let's say, in the Commerce Committee in which I serve on, if there's a price tag of $50,000 or more on that bill, not only does it originate in Commerce, but if it moves out of Commerce, then it's still got to go to Ways and Means. So if you're a Ways and Means member, you spend a lot of time in this room hearing debates as well as proposals on whether or not these ideas are worth the state's consideration. So near the end of this month is when we'll really get our first glimpse of what this bill looks like, but obviously the members of the Ways and Means Committee are still crafting this budget as we speak.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of bills that have gone through the session this week. The first that comes to mind is a traditional one for those of us who have been in the Assembly for a few years. It's House Bill 1036, or what is more commonly known as the pickup truck bill. Dave, you've been involved in these before. Tell us what it is and where we go from here.
I've helped co-author this bill 2 years ago. It's probably been around as long as I've been alive, it seems like, but it's really a fairness issue that rural legislators have been fighting for a number of years versus the urban legislators. And some way, somehow, years ago in the state of Indiana, we did not include pickup trucks in the road formula that's used to figure out how much money is sent back to the various counties in the road formula. And obviously, in a rural area, you usually have more pickup trucks on the roads than you do any other type of vehicle. And we're just trying to make sure that if you're driving a pickup truck, that money should be allocated to the local street formula. But what seems to happen each and every time that this bill makes it through the House, Senator Borst, who of course chairs the Finance Committee, is from the Indianapolis area. He basically kills the bill successfully each and every year by not even hearing it, because he knows that Marion County and other large counties that represent the largest cities in the state would lose some road funding to rural counties such as the ones in my district. So we're going to move this bill once again and try to get his attention, but I would really encourage those in my district, if they would like to see this bill passed, to send a quick note or a letter to Senator Borst, that's Larry Borst, B-O-R-S-T, and let him know that you think it's only fair that this bill actually passes through the Senate this session.
One of the benefits of the bill is that it provides additional money for rural districts such as yourself without a tax increase. What's the, just for in your district alone, we're talking about how much money?
In the 5 counties that I represent, this bill alone would bring about $400,000 back to District 63. So you can imagine that's a lot of blacktop and a lot of help that it would actually put on local roads in my area. So you can see that this bill actually is worth consideration in our area.
Okay. Whether it gets that way in the Senate remains to be seen.
Again, Senator Borst, so you should address those phone calls and letters to, because he is the one person who has been able to kill this proposal for a number of years. And it's just really not fair, but I understand him being in a larger district that they don't want to see themselves lose that road funding. But, you know, Dean Mock, who is also the ranking member in the Roads and Transportation Committee, who's also a Republican, even though he knows that his county would lose dollars, it was even said on the House floor this week that he still thinks that the bill should pass because it is only fair. Right. And I think that's the attitude that the Senator Borst should have on it, but unfortunately so far for the past several years he has not.
Okay, let's talk about another bill that got through this week. It's House Bill 1639. It has impact in a couple of different areas. The first is on the numerous license branches around the state of Indiana, many of whom appear to be operating at a deficit. That's the situation. What does the bill do to address it?
Well, basically, we're trying to force pressure on the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to make sure that they're self-sufficient, and this bill makes an attempt at just that. And we're also trying to make sure that we don't reduce services to people throughout the state as well. So we hope that they can not only find a way to be self-sufficient, it would also keep branches throughout the state from closing. A couple of the branches close to my district that have been talked about would be Bicknell and Odin would definitely affect my district because of the townships that I serve are near the Odin area. But we're hoping that this bill makes it through the process. It has moved through the House. I think it's House Bill 1639. And again, I think that the BMV, there's no question that they should be self-sufficient, and that's what this idea is all about.
Specifically, it assures that they don't use money that's supposed to go toward road repairs will be used to reduce deficits.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that, because in the past, they've been able to take money from roads to make up their deficit, and that's not fair. Okay. And so we need to make sure that they just stand on their own.
We will hear from Representatives Dave Crooks and Dennis Oxley weekly here on WJTS's 27 Minutes. It's now time for today's Homeowner, brought to you by Kemp Lumber in Jasper.
Any home improvement project is made a lot easier with the right tools, and painting is no exception. You need to start out with a good quality brush. Now, it'll be a little more expensive, but it'll make the job a lot easier, and you can make this brush last a long time by maintaining it properly. After you've finished every paint job, clean it well and use a wire brush to really straighten out and clean the bristles. Also, always save the original case on it and return the brush each time to the original case. This will allow you to really keep the shape of the brush real well. And also, once you've got it all together like this, just hang it on a nail in your shop. That'll keep it in good shape. Also, you will rarely see a professional painter without this versatile tool. It allows him to cut open the paint cases on this side, open the paint cans here, do a little scraping, and when he's cleaning up that roller, he's able to really wipe it clean. This will make your job a lot easier when you're painting around your house.
Stay tuned. We will have more 27 minutes after this. Yep. You are watching 27 Minutes right here on WJTS UPN 27. Many professions annually send their workers to seminars or courses in order to upgrade their skill. The same is true in the law enforcement field, as area officers were busy working on mandated police studies at the Huntingburg Police Department.
Others are neglected. 16% of the murder victims ages 10 or under are killed by family members.
Skills are developed, knowledge acquired, and practice makes perfect. Maybe not perfect, but where your goal is to protect and serve, upgrading your skills and increasing your knowledge is certainly a help to meeting your work challenges. For small communities, expensive conferences are not always the answer to study needs. The Southwest Indiana Law Enforcement Training Council Incorporated came about because of that realization.
We've done it because of the cost factor to all the cities and counties, and we've organized this group with the blessings of the Police Academy of the State of Indiana.
Nationwide, 4,000 people are killed each year during family violence.
By law, we're required to have the hazmat, the bloodborne, and also domestic violence each year. Several of the departments throughout the area have instructors that we use.
We have so many certified officers on every department that can put on specific training needs that we pull from that. Each department, we trade off officers to do training within our own organization.
Well, what's that? It could be the fence is electrified and charged, which means we had to send somebody way back here.
The hazardous waste session of this year's winter meeting was taught by Dave Falkenberger, a past president of the council.
They attend a instructor development course that's put on by the state of Indiana that certifies them to be a general instructor, a firearms instructor, baton instructor, and whatever field they're in, they're allowed by the state of Indiana through the training councils and through the academy that the state has. They are certified to put that on. So.
Signs of stress on us, signs of stress on different things. That could be both of us. We're human bodies, we have a lot of stress. We're working nights, we work bad hours.
Dave had 22 years on his department, 10 years of field experience, and 3 years as an instructor.
Back in, do all kinds of stuff. It's hard on our bodies. It's hard on us mentally. Yeah.
Currently, funding for the Southwest Indiana Law Enforcement Training Council comes from the departments themselves.
We offer it basically in their backyard. When we have our trainings here at Huntingburg or at Terre Haute or Tell City, it's a lot easier for a department to break a person away for one day off of their daily routine to go to those trainings than it is to send them all the way to Indianapolis, have to pay for a motel, and plus the cost of the schooling.
As the next car came up, we don't stop.
We're funded right now just mainly on dues from each officer that is a member. Each department that is a member of the council pays $75 per year per officer to attend the training, where in some cases if they were going to Indianapolis or other locations for training, they may be paying $300 to $350 per training per officer.
They're getting their 16 hours mandated training by law, and other than that, they're getting a lot more every month. We're putting on 5 to 6 training sessions throughout the southern part of Indiana, even up as far as Terre Haute for our training council. And that's a cost factor of only $75 a year per officer.
And the problem of family violence, understanding family violence.
The council is making an appeal to the state to receive some additional grant funding since their budget limits their own programs.
We're proposing to try to start with $50,000 per training council, that the state would help fund each one of us. Because right now the cost factor is getting so great and the number of officers that's involved in this, we need more money to fund this program. And without the funding, we're just barely getting by with what training needs we need to do at this time.
I write notes. And when you write notes,
Equipment such as VCRs, TVs, and overheads are on the list, especially where they are needed for loaning to smaller departments.
do that. But let them tell you the story clear through.
Past President Dave Falkenberger also has some ideas for program expansion.
Probably to try and if the monies and the funding would be there, is to just try and approach each individual officer and not just do it in a classroom setting, but actually go outside and have the time and the manpower and materials to do a scenario type practice where it's more hands-on. I think that most people learn, instead of just sitting in a classroom as an adult, you actually pick up more sometimes when you see the application of that learning.
Sit there and take the time to listen to them the first time. Always.
Practice may not always make it perfect, but hands-on training and sharing of experiences may help. Tony Frick, TV 27 News.
Thanks for joining us this week on 27 Minutes. I'm Kurt Gutgsell. Have a great weekend.